All right, we should be live and we're waiting for a couple more members. That clock has done something strange. So I'm here.
That's my, you guys. Well, I knew. It's nice weather, how can. Oh, it's so.
We're actually online now. So we'll talk with you about the shirt afterwards. But that's something the town would provide to everybody that participated free of charge. We've got Donnie, we'll wait a couple of more minutes. And I haven't heard from Eric. I'll have to check if he doesn't come tonight, because he was gung ho about going on the walk.
Yeah, maybe I'll come on Monday. And it'll be interesting to see the 3 o'clock schedule, how that will be.
Yeah,
Versus the morning. It was it was really good. I'm glad that we participated in it.
yeah, 2:30 is even more interesting because all the buses are out.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie thought 3 was a good time.
Yeah.
So we'll start in a couple of minutes. I do appreciate all of you going on the walk. That was very informative and very good. Yeah,
It was very
it
informative,
was
yeah. I
good.
mean, when you really get up close and.
It's different than when you're sitting in the vehicle or you're walking just a little bit.
You realize how really complex the whole, there are so many factors involved, pedestrian, bicycles, all the different traffic.
Oh, yes.
Entries and exits. Ooh.
Massive curb cuts everywhere. Usually they're not that uncontrolled. But it's a place that developed over time, and neither DOT nor the town and the planning board process wanted to limit the businesses, and of course, all of a sudden, the traffic just escalated.
Well, and I think it's important too, that when people come off the highway, even if they only stop for gas. At least it's welcoming and, it looks like it's, like with AE, I had not noticed the trash in that area before. And I was gonna call the manager yesterday.
No, it usually looks really well. Unfortunately, with COVID, there's not a lot of mowing by DOT. We have to call them to get the intersections done by the exits and to the interstate.
I wasn't sure. That's understandable.
All right, since we're all here, Donnie will be joining us. He's our recycling coordinator, also public works director, very busy. I saw him today and he indicated he was coming. I'm Catherine Ruth, the grant administrator, former town manager, and I apologize for my appearance. I got smashed up in an accident, and the side of my head doesn't look too good. I don't want anyone to get sick here, but it's better. It's getting better every day here. Hopefully all the stitches can come out shortly. And then everything else will improve. So we'll introduce ourselves.
Ellen Sahuski. I'm Chris Farrow.
Scott Jones.
Lucy Treadwell. Yep, thank you all for coming. So since we don't have people that have come here specifically for the AARP audit, we'll just follow the agenda. I sent out the meeting minutes from the August 8th meeting, which was our public notice community forum on the 2 grants that the committee worked on, especially the climate resilience. So let me know if you have any changes that you'd like. If not, we can have a motion to approve in second. Hi there, we're glad that you came here. Is there an extra set of materials down there that you're?
Thanks.
So we're looking over the meeting minutes now to see if we want any changes. And they're attached to the agenda.
Just waiting for a motion to accept,
Mhm.
I make a motion to accept the minute.
Can I consent? It's fine.
All in favor? All right. Any questions or comments? Everybody all set to vote? Let's vote for the meeting minutes. Yep, they passed. Thank you so much. We'll be going on to old business, which is actually exciting business. The reuse center announcement and timetable. First item is our grant application update. We applied to T-Mobile for a grant for the reuse building and it was accepted.
Oh.
So we just been notified and it went live this morning at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. I guess. That we received the $21,185 grant from T-Mobile, which is wonderful. It's very competitive. I had beautiful invitations. They sent us 2 boxes of items. Beautiful invitations for all of you. I think I wrote down everybody's name to go to the celebration. But there's a town that has a name similar to ours.
Oh,
We have,
Pittsfield, Massachusetts instead.
We have Plainsfield, Illinois is also a winner, and Pittsfield, Maine.
Oh,
So the 2 fields got each other's materials, I believe.
Oh,
I did call T-Mobile and I'll call the
that's
town and we'll switch things. Our names are similar there.
that's funny. Yeah,
Although
'cause
we
Pittsfield
were
is-
the only one in Maine, and then there was some in New Jersey, New York, and then most of it was out west, so we're very
What was
fortunate.
the basis of the grant? What did it have
Yes.
to be for?
So the basis of the grant, was for the inside and the outside of the building to be updated. We already have the money for the roof work, and I spoke with Bernard Williams again, who is working on this and has been for the last month, as we have, payment for the roof. And he said he doesn't have all the bids in, and I explained to him that this is a T-Mobile grant. As soon as we have the celebration, they expect us to move forward. So we can't do anything till the roof is done. So he was gonna go get the bids. And then bring them into the town manager. He understood the importance of getting this done here. And so on September 21st at 12:30 p.m. at the Pittsfield Community Celebration, which is a Saturday down at Manson Park at 12:30, we're gonna have the T-Mobile presentation of the big check to the town council.
Oh,
and
wow.
all of you. And we'll be inviting a number of people. The grant was for fixing up the restrooms that got damaged when everything happened. So ADA compliant restrooms with toilets and sinks. The pipes will be fixed. There would be a heat pump installed. So that we'll be able to work, when it isn't too cold.
Right.
We have bids for all of those. There would be ADA compliant chairs. The chairs are very uncomfortable in the reuse building, so we would get some nice chairs for there. So the seniors who have been running it since the day it was open would be much more comfortable. And a good table, and then outside picnic table and park benches. We would also fix the floor, which is cement, I believe, so it's kind of slippery when it's wet. People track in, so we would put an epoxy paint on. We would fix up the parking lot, which has been dug up a bit. It's not ADA compatible, just because of the plowing and there was some sort of microburst down there that really caused a mess. And fix up the walkway. I think I covered everything that's involved with that. So we're obviously not gonna do any work in the building until the roof is on, because that would be negligent in case something happened. Donnie himself got up there and got some really strong tarps on there. For the piece that just, the whole part just ripped right off, in the big winds that we had in December.
Wow.
So this is absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
I can order everything, as soon as the big check arrives.
Did you say 21,000?
It's 21,185, and they're giving us $300 for the little celebration for refreshments and everything.
That's great.
So they want everyone to come to that, and I gave them the events that we had in September, because it's a 2-week leeway. From when the notice was made today, and so that Pittsfield Community Celebration that the police department runs, with the bouncy houses and all the children, will be at one side here, us older ones.
Yeah.
And so we're good.
That day too.
Yeah, we'll do that at 12:30. There'll be a lot of people there. Senior Citizen Club will be invited, Pittsfield Arts Club, Pittsfield Garden Club, the American Legion. I mean, that was the building, they donated it to the
Cool,
town.
that's great.
All the other groups that we have, the Elks, everybody who has some older folks and even younger folks there. So this is great, wonderful news.
That's what you had to keep your mouth quiet about.
Yes, that's what we couldn't say. I just said something was happening.
I know,
Yeah,
that's
that's
wonderful.
great. That's a lot.
Yeah,
more. Thank you.
yeah,
All your
thank
effort.
you.
amazing.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Thank you,
That's great.
I'm shocked. There was 650 applications and they picked 25. So
And
we were
that-
just very fortunate.
Wow.
And that amount of money really will cover just about
That
everything.
will cover
Yeah.
all of that,
Yeah.
yes. Because
Yeah.
Public Works is gonna fix
Class.
it, with the equipment, gonna fix the parking lot.
Good.
The roof looks right, I happened to ride by my bike today. I mean, you just have to replace where the tarps are and stuff.
No,
Will
the whole roof's getting.
They will do more.
So you don't have the seam.
Metal or shingle or?
We were gonna do metal, but we decided to do shingle because the insurance company said, well, if you do the metal, we're only gonna give you X amount of dollars.
Oh,
And we're gonna go over, so
Yeah.
we're gonna get the good 40-year architectural, so. we're gonna go with some good quality stuff, so.
That'll be good.
And we have to repair some of obviously the trim boards outside and the soffits underneath. Rain's got in and rotted, but.
Wow, that's great. Wow. Good.
Okay.
Good.
Question, is there any plan to remove the furnace that was broken
Oh, there's.
for all the years that I was there?
The furnace is not broken, the furnace is brand new.
It works?
Oh, wow.
Yes, it works, it's coming out, it's gonna go up to the Public Works garage. We're gonna see if we can.
So that room that it's in would be available for part of the reuse center operation?
I would say that's probably gonna be a locked office, so if there's donations and stuff like that, because in the past, they've had it right out front.
Yeah.
In the wide open in that kitchenette area, I think that would be just an office to be able to track stuff. And be able to
Good
keep
idea.
any
Good
donations.
idea.
But it would be a good idea to cut an outside door into that room for the intake, which clutters up the whole entrance all the way up to the kitchen area.
Yeah, pick up and drop off,
Yeah.
features too.
Yeah, we can look at this. If you have other ideas, let Donnie and I know.
Yeah.
But this is a miracle to get this
Oh,
funding,
just to make
especially
this
from that
happen. Yeah,
organization.
This is a great start.
They're very well set up. They've had trainings, webinars, but we couldn't say anything. Except they did put on the community festival sign, big and grant announcement at 12:30 PM,
That's
a
great.
surprise.
That's really great.
So we have nice invitations, which will have our name on them when we switch them with the other town there. So anything else anything you want to mention about the reuse building? We'll get after getting the roof on.
Yeah, then the other plans is, there was questions between the town manager about the viability with the water that leaked through. Because the insulation and stuff is in pretty bad
Oh,
shape.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Up overhead, I've evicted a porcupine and a bunch of
Oh.
squirrels. I think they get in that trim board. So once we
Yeah.
button that in, I have been told by the town manager that the ceiling is coming out. The tiny roof ceiling is coming out. We're gonna
They're
replace
gonna
it with
really
some
fix it
nice,
up.
we're gonna replace it with some nice sheet rock.
That's great.
And we'll make a determination on the walls themselves, because that's all tongue and groove. He said if it doesn't look like water penetrated down into the wall part of it, we'll
Might
keep
be
that
okay.
the way it is and either paint it or restain it.
Any insulation in the walls?
There is.
There is, okay.
There is, yeah.
Good.
It's got R19 throughout, so it's insulated.
That's cool.
And one of the things we did talk about too was the open style concept. Bernard Williams had brought that up, that if we take the ceiling out, why can't we just, like they do in a lot of these restaurants and stuff now, they just spray foam to the rafters and around, and then you just spray and paint it
Right.
up top, so it gives you a nice open atmosphere.
Well, the heat, I mean, we have a heat pump though, will all the heat then be up there and stuff?
No,
like that?
because you're still gonna, there's gonna be spray foam insulation.
Okay,
Right.
There'd be spray foam in between, so all it's doing is we're gonna spray it on, and
yeah,
it stays on the inside, and they just paint that, and
Yeah.
that makes it,
yeah,
just gives you a lot more
A
open
lot,
space
yeah,
for
more
air
space,
to actually circulate in
Right.
there, and it won't get musty and smelling.
Nice.
So will the monies for the roof cover the spray foam or?
No, I think that's something that we've just discussed with all the budgeting things for the last 3 nights. I've been up over midnight trying to figure out 6 budgets, so, that's something that we talked about putting in extra for the.
Okay, because we do have a little bit over $2,000 saved from all the donations.
Yeah, and that's, again, we'll make that determination on how bad it is up overhead,
Once
because
you know.
the ceiling in that kitchenette area was all sheet rock, and that all got wet and
Got-
fell
yeah,
down.
that's-
And
yeah.
I cleaned that up, and it's the same way in the furnace room, the sheet rock is still intact, but there's some great big black moldy spots, so that's gonna have to come out in there. The only thing that really wasn't affected with the sheet rock or anything was in the bathrooms. So the bathrooms all look good as far as the walls and everything, all they need is a coat of paint, so we won't have to be doing anything in there, because there was no leaking going on.
Right, remember, this was the big storm that happened in December
December.
2023, that all the trees uprooted
Right.
everywhere.
The
and
18th, I remember.
microburst went through, it's
Tree
crazy.
came through my car.
And we lost power.
Yeah, that was out.
3, 4
days,
days.
yeah.
Right
before Christmas, oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, what a treat.
All right, well,
Yeah,
it's a
so that's
miracle we
all
got the
we do.
funding to fix up the
That's
building,
great,
so
super,
we'll
super,
go
super.
forward. The
Guys.
T-Mobile funding does need to be spent right off. They want to see results. They have due dates for reports, and this is how they have to do this, so the
Oh,
projects
sure.
would just, people
Just
would
sit.
go work on something else.
Mhm.
So
Excellent.
this is
So
wonderful.
there's a time frame that the work has to be done.
And yes,
We're gonna need to get it done to get open as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And as far as the
I think we
work,
can.
does the town do the work, or do we go down and do the work? As far as,
no, we're, the public works are doing all the
Contract,
ground
okay,
work,
gotcha.
contract is gonna do the roof. coming
okay,
down.
gotcha,
The inside, if it comes to taking the ceiling down, that's gonna be public works.
okay. Just give an
The
idea.
floor,
Yeah.
the public works will do that once we get everything cleaned out, that's a 1-day project to epoxy the floor.
Cool.
And talking about the bathroom.
The heat pump, Wayne Trapp, the heat and plumbing is gonna do that,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
bathrooms, he's already given us a quote. on
Oh,
it. All that.
great.
So we can have, we're
Gosh,
gonna have multiple things going on at the same time.
super, great.
So I will, on the day, 2 days after we have the celebration, that'll be Monday. I will order all the items I'm responsible for. And then we can tell Wayne to we can tell him now to get into his schedule.
Yeah, get it, because he's a month out anyway, so that'll get him in, to get him going, and that'll give us a chance to do the outside and what we need to do, so.
No, this is great. It'd be wonderful to have the reuse building open.
Mhm.
I have a half a room of items that are coming in. And other people do too. So, you'll have plenty of donations. We'll just have to figure out when we can start getting the donations, because they will, people are sending things to Pennywise that they shouldn't. They really would go to. the
Well, I was
reuse
gonna
building.
say too, how are we gonna handle, will there be bins for people to drop off, like within reason, or like an outside bin, or is it just to bring them?
We're still in logistically, that's,
Yeah, that's-
it's been
yeah.
a nightmare, there's still people dropping stuff off outside.
Right,
I've
it's
caught
supposed to
some
be
people
only when
out
it's
of town
open.
throwing building debris and old
Yeah,
windows.
oh, yeah,
It's like, you guys can't drop this stuff off, it's not open.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
just-
we would
Yeah,
have them
it's
if they had picture items to make arrangements with the transfer station.
And some of the stuff that they've been bringing to the transfer station, it doesn't even hit the ground before it's gone, so. I mean, it's
Sure,
been-
true. I put those traps out that, I wanted to throw them in the metal pile because they don't work right.
Right,
And by the time they got there, I came out of the reuse building, the recycle building, and they were gone.
Good.
Somebody else has that trouble now.
You're just
yeah,
concerned.
it's amazing, I bet probably, I bet we're getting rid of 6 or 8, 9, 10 tons of some material right up front of the Jersey barrier. We got, I mean, we just had a guy the other day that dropped off 2 lawn tractors, one into the carburetor, some boom, as soon as they hit the ground, 2 guys come in, pick them right up, and one of them came in today and said he used it to mow his lawn yesterday.
Good, that's great.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
This is true. All right, wonderful. Anything else we want to talk about the building? We'll get the timetable together.
Okay.
Once we know the date that the work will be done on the roof, that will set in motion everything else for a timetable.
Does putting heat pumps in mean that it's gonna be operating in the winter?
That is not true,
Yeah.
because that heat pump, the heat pump itself will not keep the building.
It'll take the
Right.
chill off.
It'll take the chill off, so if you
Yeah,
wanna take,
yeah.
like,
In
if
the
we wanna take
fall.
donations, or somebody
Yeah.
wants to go in and clean or something, we can turn it on in the morning and somebody can come in and
Mhm.
volunteer, can come in the afternoon. I just think that liability wise with the winter and the slippery roads and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, but they,
It won't be enough to,
realistically, we could operate right up till the end of November, and you could
Mhm.
probably start in early April, so you're gonna have a
Right.
shorter,
Right.
shorter span.
Exactly.
I'm in the process of moving, and I have a stockpile, boxes of stuff that my grandson is bugging me to get rid of.
yeah,
So, but
I ran out of room to
It's-
days like COVID.
We'll be able,
Hey, at least, you had stuff, that will be able to go there.
yeah,
we'll be able to be open a lot longer than we were before, but we can't be open in the dead of
No,
winter.
no.
Only because I'm thinking of a little bit of a distract here. Does anybody know about there's a person in town that restores bicycles and gives them to kids? Does anybody know? Cause I know there was a guy that did it, but I think he passed a few years ago. So we've got a couple of bikes. We'll just put them out for free or bring them down in the shop.
It's the whole
Well, if you had,
Use, it's not saying it works, it's reuse, take the parts, do whatever.
yeah, if you had used bicycles and brought them down, I'm sure somebody will take them.
Yeah, I use anything I donate that's like missing a part, whatever, I'll just put right on it.
Yeah.
It works except for
Right,
this.
yeah.
Right.
You
Give
give them a heads up.
Then they know, yeah.
Somebody that repaired them.
All right, good. We will find out about the roof, which is the major item here, and then we'll move forward. You'll have invitations, even if they're through email. Inviting you to the September 21st celebration at 12:30 down at Manson Park, and there'll be, I'm not sure which field we're gonna be on. They got moved around because of the soccer games, but you might want to come a little early. It starts at 12 because you want a parking spot. And sometimes that can be difficult. If you can walk down there, even better.
It starts at 12.
Yeah, the whole event starts at
The whole
12.
event starts at 12.
We're gonna have the presentation from T-Mobile to all of you on the town council at 12:30.
The event starts at 12.
Yeah, so the event will be then. There'll be refreshments because they're giving us $300 for that, and I'll use it for advertising too. All right, well, that is wonderful news, and this will finally get the reuse center going again, which is great. It might only be going for a short period of time, but still that is wonderful, and then we can plan for next year. Number 2 is new reuse and recycle projects. Is there anything that anyone wants to talk about or can think of that we need to add or look at?
Can we back up a little bit to the other one? The whole thing about how to obtain volunteers to reopen the center, it's gonna be, you know, getting people, like I said, I will volunteer, but I'm not gonna be there every Saturday. So I think there was a burnout, definitely, for all those wonderful women that.
Plus,
there.
we didn't want to change people out too.
So that's gonna be,
Yeah, people would usually go for a few hours,
yeah,
and I think Lucy, are you the only person left from the original group?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, a whole number of people passed away at COVID and afterwards.
And
I think you can find people that may wanna come once a month
yeah, yeah,
rather than every week.
absolutely.
Well, you could do a sign up too, maybe, or see, I don't know.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
once-
the hours
and
too
once
is-
which
is a
people
big
like.
If you have
factor.
enough people at the beginning, just say, hey, we need some other,
Yeah.
talk it up and,
Yeah,
Would
once
you
we
mind?
get along a little further, and we know about
okay.
the roof, then we'll know how to proceed. We've got
Right.
all
We
these
have
groups
some
that we're
ready
gonna
to move in.
invite in that have
Right.
members, and we'll look for volunteers at
Right.
that time and talk about that on the 21st.
Okay, Gotta start.
So that will help, and if you think of anybody that would like to do that, if somebody went in and worked there, let's say we were open every Saturday. If they went in and worked once or twice a month or worked half days, you know, they'd be more apt to keep doing it instead of working all day.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that I've had people approach me about is that Saturdays is tough because Saturdays people work, people are working, they're trying to spend time with the family. And I've had a lot of people say, I think you would have better results if you were open on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but you're only there for a couple of hours. That way you're not burning,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
2 days and for 2 or 3 hours. you're not
Friday,
burning the
Saturday,
people out, and then have a day where,
Mhm.
like on a Monday, or have a day where they can come in just for a few hours. Intake day, this is when we take stuff, this, that we don't, so somebody, it could even be me, I could be across the street, okay, if you guys got some.
Drop it
I'll,
off.
if you wanna drop it off, come see me, I'll let you in, well, I'll go over.
Maybe
across
drop
it.
offs on Friday and be open Friday, Saturday.
And
People
kind
wanna
of
drop off
find
that
out,
for your other
half day
girls,
is a long
leftovers.
time for some people.
Well, like I said.
Anyways, those are details to work out, but
I
yeah,
know
okay.
four
It'll
hours
be
on my
addressed.
feet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on my feet for 10, 12 hours.
Oh, yeah.
a day. My feet at about 6 hours heading out, so,
Right.
and it allows for a little bit of more flexibility.
Looking
I
at
can
nice chairs.
volunteer 2 hours, but I can't volunteer
No.
every Saturday for
No,
6
exactly.
hours.
Yeah.
So it's open Wednesday through Saturday.
I was wondering that, yeah.
And the
so
one
that's
that
right.
started it and was running it has moved out of state. So nobody's really in charge, just the community is pitching in.
Yeah,
That's good. That's
The
good,
times
'cause you
that I've
want
been
the
there, it
people
looked
to do that.
well kept, and
That's
the
good.
people that
Yeah,
taking
well, and
care
I
of
think that's
stuff.
an important point because I think getting the community more involved,
Mhm.
because
Right.
there's so much talk now about upcycling and recycling, I mean, climate, I mean, we're in the
So
middle.
we'll have time to
Okay.
run little articles in the Rolling Thunder.
Yep.
I just wanna see when the roof is coming
Right,
first, so
okay,
we
that's-
don't
that's
get
the
a
point.
whole bunch of
Yeah.
people running down and we can't do anything.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but no, that's a good point, and you can look at changing the hours too. Yeah, yes, think about all that, we got a little bit of time here, we'll probably be open just a short period, but it will get everything out of everybody's houses. And give you quite a supply.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, very good. Number 2, new reduce, reuse and recycle projects. Anything that you're thinking about that we should be adding? I have asked the town, office, manager so that we can have, a section on the documents that says it's for recycling. And I asked for one for grant projects too, so that the information can go on the website. Everything's been taken off the website, so it's very bare at minimum now. But it would be nice to have a place where the recycle information would go, like the new brochure. Because those went, I put those out just as the taxes when bills came out, so those went very quickly. I have a tiny supply left and we'll order some more. And the upcycling information, and I'll work on the recycling facts next. But we won't put much on, we'll put the basics, basically. But if there's something that you think of, we've been so involved with these grant projects, which has been wonderful, very helpful with the AARP and the climate resilience, because all this fits together, that, you know, we want to go back and look at the basics here. And if Donnie, you come up with anything, not to add on lots of new things. How did your building supply thing go? You added on some building materials?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did that work out good?
Yeah, it has, and just as another thing, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but, you know, kudos goes out to this, new energized group of the Garden Club. If you have not, when you leave tonight, go across the street and look at what they have performed across the street of Stein Park. They've got the new granite sign, they've got a new arbor coming next week, they're taking a tree down next, we're taking one of the dead trees down next week. We're moving some benches around, if you don't notice, they cleaned up the sidewalks. They've fixed all of the benches and epoxied all the legs, they've got pads they're standing on, they've repainted everything.
Yeah.
It looks
approved. They did.
amazing.
That's what we need to do up by the plaza.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks
thank you. And
amazing.
we're having a tea party there this Saturday.
Yes, and when we did our walk the other day, I did bump into manager, the guy that's supposed to be the property manager up there. And told him that he needs to do something with that grass up there. I said, this would be a perfect opportunity. You have a very small parking right now, but maybe put some benches and a few tables out there. People will be more apt to come to
Right.
frequent the plaza and go over and have a coffee and a donut.
Okay, where are you talking about as far as?
Out in the front by the sign and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where all the grass is high.
Where it's a little bit higher than
Right.
the rest of it isn't being maintained, but,
Yeah, because that's like dead space, nobody uses. that
yeah,
space.
that would be a good spot to be able to do that, so people can, even if they're on a long ride, they come over and rest and
Right, it's not,
have a spot to be able to sit down and. But he said he would take it under consideration, he might be able to find it. I was like, wow, that was horrible.
He's a very nice gentleman.
Yeah, it's
That-
a gateway coming in and we trying to, and I said, I know it's tough, but it's,
but it's really important, it's like, what we were talking about before, welcoming, even if you're coming off the highway just for a few minutes and. You go to Irving and then you see Rennie's and then you might see the Dunkin' Donuts and it's more appealing if it looks good.
yes, most
Instead of
definitely.
just getting on the highway and making this just a wide spot in the road, we want them to stop.
Dunkin' Donuts is always taking care of their
Yes.
area, very
Yeah.
nice.
It's very,
These, and a lot of people park their vehicles underneath the trees there and eat
In the-
lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're in the
so if you
shade.
get a few tables there and a trash can, and people might get out and actually out of
Exactly.
their vehicles.
Yeah.
One of the things that's my pet peeve is the trash,
oh, yeah,
you saw that just.
oh, yeah,
irritates
oh, that, yeah.
People are bad,
Well, and then we've got to be careful too, because people that come through, if they stop for long, and if they have pets, then we've got to have a pet cleanup area, because that undoubtedly will happen.
Yeah.
But it's a start, we can prepare for that.
All right, so think about if there's any projects that you want to add, we can really push the upcycling a bit. I've got, hopefully that, all those websites with the links will get on the town website.
And I'll get you those books about climate change too, we can maybe put that out.
Yeah, that would be good.
Um,
All right, very good. Other grant projects, just to let you know, on the Climate Resilience Partnership and grant opportunities, we received approval from the town council to move forward to sign up for the partnership. We got 5 grants, all came in at once, so I haven't done the items that we got approved for in August, but that's one of them. And I will be working on that next week. I also spoke with the grant resilience coordinator at KB cog, and she's gonna look over our information. Usually you would work with KB cog, but they were backed up, and there's one person to cover every town that wanted to do this. So we went ahead and did it ourselves. And that will actually help us get a grant and actually implement the grant now. So she's gonna check that over next week to make sure it's correct. So going on to AARP Grant Walk. And we also have the Highway Safety Plan grant. I'll just mention that real quickly. It's going to the town council, hopefully for approval at the next council meeting on the 17th. This is the $120,000 grant that, by some miraculous, decision, we got that. We were the only place in the state of Maine. So that's for a plan for safety for the community, to look at all the roads and areas, sidewalks, paths and everything, except for the Main Street area, which is being looked at under the planning partnership grant that we got. And so we had to come up with a match of 20%, which is 30,000. And we decided after looking at that, $15,000 will be Donnie's and my time, because we're gonna work on it anyway. So we might as well track our time against it. And once you add in all the costs and benefits, it will add up pretty quickly, especially since we've spent a lot of time on it already. So that gets us to the AARP Grant Walk audit, and thank you all so much for going on the audit. And we'll hopefully have Lucy and Eric on Monday, hopefully, at 3 o'clock. And if anyone wants to go again, you can. It's not expected. But this worked out well, and we won't influence anyone that hasn't gone yet, or anyone who watches this later on, because it's like 20 or 30 people that look
Yeah,
at this
man.
later on. So we won't
We
influence you. You
pressurize.
could come up with something totally different. But I did send out and put packages in front of you. The first item in the AARP walk, we went to Somerset Avenue Industrial Park Street. That was on September 9th at 7:30 in the morning. We had a little discussion on the whole overall project. This worked out well, and we were done by 9 o'clock, like we said we were going to be. And the first item in the handouts is to make a map. So rather than have everybody draw out hand-free a map, I took the town's map and blew it up. And I'll work on this to make it a little bit better, but that will be placed into the packet. We started by the motel, Family Dollar area. And then walked down by Somerset Plaza, past it, past Dunkin' Donuts, went to the intersection and crossed the road where miraculously there wasn't much traffic. That was unusual. And the police department was with us, as well as Donnie for safety and knowledge. We walked down the Industrial Park Street, which was interesting, and went to the furthest entrance exit to the mobile home park. There's a 49 unit mobile home park with over 200 children was the last count in there. So you've got all these children. And that's on the records. It may be different now. That was the last figure when I put this paperwork in spring. So there's a lot of children down there. And so we didn't see anybody out because school was in session. But that evening when I went up, I saw 4 bicycles, middle school age. They were in the middle of the road and the big truck was coming, and it's the usual thing there. Yeah, this is pretty similar, but we went to the furthest entrance, and then we walked back past the, industrial park expansion that's not on the map here, but it's halfway, across from the mobile home park, and then we went back to Somerset Plaza and regrouped. So that's pretty much the area. I think it's a little bit over a mile. It was a good walk. And so in the documents, did anyone see anything they wanted to change? Do you want to go through each page, or did you, when you looked it over, did you come up with things that we needed to fix? I wrote everything down to the best of my ability. We didn't see all of these people out walking. We saw no one out walking when we were there, but I did write down that the town used to see all of these categories of individuals walking, and so the area became very busy and congested. So at 7:30 in the morning, we're like, we're not gonna see them. At 3 o'clock, we may see something totally different.
Actually, the other night, was that Tuesday night? Tuesday night, I went up and it was 4:35. And I could not believe the people walking, and they were jogging, kids, they must have an app, something going on at Walter. I said, look at the kids on bikes, kids coming from school, these ones with backpacks, these ones, and they're on both sides of the street. I'm like, oh my God, where did all these people come from? People walking, they were walking, I think there's 2 sets of people walking their dogs, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of activity at 4:35 in the afternoon.
Well, and again, if we had that parkway, lit at night with solar lights that come out, motion sensor, I think you'd have a lot more people out doing that, because it's a safer place to walk.
There's usually a lot of people out on the weekend on the industrial park street. They just like to walk it because it's a long distance, it's all flat and
Yeah, it's
everything.
an easy.
But it is the truck route also.
Well, I do that, what is it? I can't remember what it is. I remember right from here, down over the hill to Industrial Park, all the way back around and
That's
then
what
down here.
yours-
Isn't it 3 mile square or some, I know some girls that are doing it for a walk, but it's exactly 3 or 4 miles. I don't know what it is, or 2 miles,
Yeah,
but they,
that could be mapped out,
yeah, as a walking.
As a walking.
But I can't remember, but it's a specific distance. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
even.
Sure, yeah.
Because I know the 4 mile squares, if you start here, go all the way out to the Web Road, come
Right,
down,
and
come
come
down
around,
to
we see
Crawford,
that.
I think that's the 4 miles.
Yeah.
square.
Yeah.
We actually have the signs to put up for the map that we made through a grant that we had several years ago, just before COVID. We've got it all mapped out to go to all of the parks and how, what the
Cool.
distance is and
Yeah.
signs up that point toward each park and tells you what the distance is to the next park for your walk.
That would be really good, yeah. That would be good to get people out and doing things like that.
We need more neighborhood watch signs put up, in certain key places of town too.
Well, you gotta make sure there's somebody actually watching too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Just a technical question about the trailer park. Is that a privately owned and everybody just rents a lot?
Well, yes.
Yeah,
Um,
they own the trailers generally. There's a few owned by the company, but most people own their own trailer.
They're just renting the one,
Mhm.
and so who's responsible for the tax base, the owner?
yes. But they get taxed on the land, the people get taxed on
Mhm.
their mobile home
Yeah.
or their double one.
Yeah, and the water sewer is the responsibility of the individuals. It would be a lot easier if we had just one pipe going in.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have, 49 or something.
And that's why I was just wondering how the town can afford to support. I mean, they have to be taxed somehow individually.
Right.
Because that's a real tax on just the children and everything else.
Oh, on their homes are being taxed.
Yeah,
They
they're
are.
taxed on their homes and
They
he
are.
pays tax on the land.
Yeah.
But it's
Who's
like I
the
said,
company that owns it? Is it?
it used to be one out of water, but a guy,
It's changed several times.
there's a guy he's a really nice guy. He's a guy from California. He bought this one and 4 other ones, and he's a pretty decent guy. That's why you notice there's been I think there's been 16 that have moved out,
They've,
Because
put new rules
no
in.
rules. He has high standards. They have to have skirting around, and he's up to the property law rent, so a lot of people have bought a piece of land and moved out. And he's brought in other rental properties, so now he's got 4, 5, 6, 8, or 10 in there that he rents.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
All right, so I wrote a few comments that the group saw only vehicles, including tractor trailer trucks. The vehicle count was estimated to be over 460 in 1 hour, because you were counting for 15 minutes
Right.
and then another
It's like
5.
115 at first, yep.
So hopefully at the 3 o'clock one, we'll see more people.
I think you'll see more people, and then you'll see vehicles too. I think that will be
Mhm. Yes, if you go down when the buses are out and the
So.
people are being picked up, you almost can't turn the opposite direction for about 10 or 15 minutes. So the next page, I apologize, these are not numbered in the book, so I didn't number them. But we were going to have, instead of the single location audit, the next page was for Somerset Avenue. This was made out because Somerset Avenue was different than Industrial Park. So we used each of these for each street. So I filled this out to the best of my ability here. It has a nice sidewalk in one area, a very nice sidewalk. And then I filled this out according to, it doesn't have traffic lights, but it does have stop signs. They're all up. They're not always clearly visible to the drivers. That one got turned around again. The crosswalks will be different when you go up on Monday because they're done now.
yeah, I noticed that. Now that
I got a call
they-
yesterday from
There's some
Superintendent.
dips in,
Schools.
some of the ones.
said that I think the ones in Heartland Avenue, because the one there by the funeral home, kids are the crossing guards there, and I said, huh. I said, really? Yeah, I said, well, I think you probably ought to look, because it was painted Monday, and I said, this is Wednesday, so it's been painted for 2 days, so I was,
Maybe we'll take another look.
probably ought to look. She's like, well, the crossing guard said on Tuesday that it wasn't there. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure it was there Tuesday, because I remember painting it Monday, at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you got a
There's
lot.
one sidewalk that has a dip in it that if you walk on it, like Sebastopol Street as you're coming down
Mhm.
past West Branch, if you don't watch it, there's you will go boom right in the hole.
Mhm. Yeah, there is a dip there.
Yeah, I figured I'd just put it out there.
Mhm. So the pedestrian crossing signals, there are none there, so that was all other. So if you see anything that you want changed, let me know. And I put down it was mixed, walkability, because in certain areas, over on the other side, where people will walk to go to the medical center from Family Dollar and Walgreens, there's no sidewalk there, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, that's true.
So that page is on Somerset Avenue, the next page is on Industrial Park Street, and that's a little bit different there. Posted speed limit is 45. We have tried to change that. But in order to have it be 25, the houses have to be 250 feet all along the way, and there's only a few buildings down there because of the wetlands and everything. So the buildings are a lot further apart than 250 feet. That's the state law. Although when I talked to the acting engineer at the Bangor office, he thought something might be able to be done about that. And I was trying to apply for a little practical urban grant for $1,000. When I then found out about the highway safety one for 150,000, so I headed over there.
So are you talking about just like where from the trailer park on out, having that 25?
Yeah, I think that they had talked to us before about how it wouldn't be enough area.
Oh, okay,
If we
that
went-
distance, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
see what
short
you mean.
distance, but they seem to be thinking maybe they should do it. Cause 45 down past the trailer park with 4 entrances and all the children is very bad. I understand why it's higher further down, but still
Yeah.
there's a curve there too.
And,
I want to
and
keep
the
it
biggest
45.
problem there too is you really need to look at the commercial traffic. Because the other day I was down there and it was 9 cars on in front of me, and it was 7 because they had tractor trailer. And you got people flying down and the tractor trailer's trying to butt back in a wall pole, and it's like, whoa, it's gonna slam into somebody. I watched, I said, somebody's gonna get killed here. Because they do, they're pulling it out, and they're backing these big trucks and they can't do it at 45. They can't turn in the back in before somebody behind them.
They've just paved the Madawaska Road and it's like a freeway.
Mhm.
It is unbelievable. People are going
yeah,
so
yeah.
fast. They haven't even put a stripe down the road yet and people are going 60, 65 on that road.
Probably
They
I
just
couldn't believe it.
They, well, and that's the problem, that's the problem with progress. They fix a road, and
Yeah.
people complain to speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Cop sat there the
Yeah,
other
potholes,
morning for me, he clocked one at 74 coming down past
Yeah.
my house. I
Oh,
said, "See, I told
wow.
you," I
I
said, they
remember
cannot
that.
make the, I don't know how they make the corner.
It's
But
out of
that's what
control.
happens. Out of
It's
control.
Yeah, it just seems incredible. I always think someday I'm gonna get my vehicle's gonna get rear-ended because I'm dropping the speed limit and no
Yeah.
one else.
Oh,
Except
nobody
for
else
us.
is. You know, they set precedent for it too, like I know the Colonel of State Police has told his patrol officers on the interstate, don't pull anybody over unless they're going above 85 or above. And that's in the 70, so they're allowing 15 miles.
That's good to know, thank you. I kind
So,
of figured it out.
Yeah, but, oh yeah, I mean, you can kind of figure it out now.
It's going
Zooming past you, I'm going
right.
72 or 74 and they're going by me like I'm sitting still.
It's not, but once you're 15 miles over, you make more money too. 15 miles over the speed limit, it's worth it.
Well, I also heard that New Hampshire and Maine are gonna come together to do something about the southern part of the state with the speed. Because they're sick of the carnage. They're just tired of the accidents that are
Every
happening.
day.
I was in June, I was 2.5 hours on the highway during that big pileup where that woman from Albion was killed. It was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, the traffic was backed up 15 miles and people were trying to go down.
You wanna see something that's even scarier? Go north of Old Town.
Oh, well, there's no limits up
It's
there.
75 miles an hour, speed limit up
I
there.
thought they
And at
took
night-
the limit signs out.
And at night, they're going up there, I bet they're going 95 or 100.
Oh, I'm
I said,
sure.
that's the best place to do it when you got a 1,200-pound moose. at
I was
the
about to
top.
say, it's
So
gonna
you
be
might
that.
just-
Oh, yeah, it's.
But here, that industrial park, it is, because you got trucks turning in and out. The other thing is too is buses.
Oh, yeah.
I've
School
seen,
buses.
I see one the other day that the bus driver actually got it, but he had his thing out right there to pick up the trail pack, car went right all around him. I think he was probably
Where's
late
the
for work.
police when we need them? That needs to be really.
And that's it too, you gotta be able to, you know, flashing lights, we've done that with the flashing lights, with this is the speed limit, they work for
Right.
a little while and people get acclimated to those and then they're right back on. They're doing it on purpose, to see how fast they can actually go.
So we do have on the council agenda to authorize the filing of a grant application for overtime from the state of Maine for speeding details
Yes.
and some
Mhm.
other details. And originally, this was supposed to be filed in August, and so it hasn't met the deadline because it wasn't placed on the agenda The town manager had too many items from all of us and that didn't get on. But we did talk to the grant people. And if they have money left over, they might fund something. So we're gonna apply now, and hopefully get approved. So that would give us some extra funding for speed details, which is desperately needed. And so Industrial Park Street has, sidewalk. Well, there's no sidewalk, so that's other all the way down. The street, I answered the questions based upon, the current situation. And at that time, there were no crosswalks, but there are now. And pedestrian crossing signs, there aren't any. I put down poor in terms of walkability, because I think it is. You know, we were in a group and the police car was there, so we were perfectly safe, but
But it's
somebody
poor.
out.
And just so you know,
Yeah.
in industrial park, and that crosswalk that goes across, and the one that we talked about by Walgreens, that's
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get paid, not yet. We're
Okay.
gonna have to do that in the evening.
Yeah.
Three people, three of us were up there, and we almost got killed 3 or 4
Oh, I'm
times. And I
sorry.
finally said, that's enough, and I called the PD, I said, can you come up here, please? Well, there's a couple, I said, we're gonna have to do this at night. I said, we can't even paint it. I said, they're gonna run us over.
Yeah.
No, you
There's
can't
too
risk
much
a life on
There's one
that.
around that cones and ran right over our stencils. I looked at Bernard and I'm like, yeah, the one that complains on fire scenes about traffic safety, just ran over our stencils. What's the matter with you? I said, I told the guys, I said, pick them up. It was dangerous. I mean,
No,
honest to
no.
God, I said, you couldn't pay me enough to get out in that intersection.
So before the traffic got this bad, about 10 years ago, the ladies and I in the town office were down in that barrier, planting flowers and everything. And everybody was waving to us. It was, you know, the vehicles were all going around, tractor trailer trucks and stuff, but we were on the wood, on the rocks there, so we were safe.
Speed bumps.
Well, we talked about up
I'm
there
telling you,
as at least having a raised,
Stop 'em.
I think would be, for a raised crosswalk or something, because, and we definitely need lights.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if the pedestrians up there,
Motion sensor.
or something, because you got those hedges that go over by, you know, the credit, something where somebody could push a button, the light can come on, so people could say, hey, listen, there's somebody there.
Yeah.
They're asking across the road, so pay attention.
You still have that
Good idea.
extra set of lights, that we got, that was supposed to be for Main Street. Do we still have that? There was we got from the state of Maine free, a setup for, like the pedestrian one that we have by School Street. They gave us one.
I think Timmy used that because the one up by School Street got taken out a couple of years, 3 or 4
Oh,
years.
so he used it and put it in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did have one, but
Yes, okay.
we had an issue where a car went off the road, just up the road and took that out. And
Okay.
the board itself got
I'll
smashed.
take that off the Main Street, item.
Oh,
Yeah,
That was gonna go up by MCI.
yes. Yeah, we definitely need that one.
All right, very good. So I put poor here because it's for walkability, and it is, until we get some enhancements here. The next page has sidewalks, so we don't need to answer this, but there was a place where you could put notes here, where there's no place for notes on the other one. So this is on the sidewalks. Somerset Avenue, I put add sidewalk on side of Somerset Avenue by Walgreens, continuing past Family Dollar and Medical Center to intersection with Industrial Park Street for safety. Do we all agree with that?
Mhm.
And we're not influencing you all down there.
It would be a good idea.
You can have your own ideas. Industrial Park Street. Add sidewalk from, this is where it's a little confusing, add sidewalk from A.E. Robinson. Furthest property line to the last entrance exit. At the large mobile home park, with school-age children are walking to school, riding bicycles to the stores, and adults are walking. So. Is the sidewalk gonna be the entire distance? It's going from A.E. Robinson property line because the barriers are gonna be before that. By Industrial Park Street in Somerset, so you all were talking about barriers with the fence
Right.
or guardrail, and then the sidewalk, which then would start at A.E. Robinson's further property line? Okay. Okay, I did write it right.
It's probably one.
Okay.
Cause we talked about putting a sidewalk in there and then trying to put the Jersey barrier or a guardrail in, but then we're squeezing ourselves.
not room
There's
here.
not enough room, so I
Yeah.
think if we just put a guardrail or something there that will protect the pedestrian until they can get to.
Okay, so this sidewalk request will be from A.E. Robinson's furthest property line to the last entrance exit at the Lackmore Park, and that'll be it.
I think that's all you need to service there for right now.
Yeah, and I think that the cost the cost has to be borne by the town, so
Right.
the distance that it's really needed is what it would be done.
Right.
All right, and then the next one, streets and crossings. This is for the street and the pedestrian crossing signals and other things. So on this page, I've got for Somerset Avenue, add pedestrian walking signs along Somerset Avenue in the vicinity of the plaza, stores and medical center.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if this is possible, but look for more durable crosswalk paint for heavy traffic for the crosswalks. I don't know if there is anything heavier. We have the sand in it, we have the beads in it. I'm just not sure what else you can put in it.
No, unfortunately, traffic is. Just like the street right now, it doesn't seem like it lasts. Like it
It
used to.
doesn't, yeah. Maybe I'll take that out. Replace the currently painted white crosswalk at the intersection of Somerset and Industrial Park Street with a bold crosswalk as shown on page 14 of the AARP walk audit book. So on page 14, if we could have two of these, I don't know if it will fit. Maybe it has to be narrower, but one of those, there's no way people can't not see that.
Right.
It would be nice to have one of those.
I mean, that's the best crosswalk I've ever
Like,
seen.
this is true, that I would love to do it.
So that one would be, if you like that one, we'll put that in there. We will have to pay for it, so we'll have to find out the cost here.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit raised, and then we.
So
have
what
to
does
paint
the
it.
AARP grant pay for?
We got $2,500. We could, I've only spent a little bit of it, so we could put it toward things like that. Yeah, so they just,
We put speed bumps by the schools, so people don't go roaring through there.
there sort of are speed bumps, there are speed dips.
Yeah.
I know, down in Manson Park, they put them there, so people don't go peel out through there, but, I meant those little.
Yeah, I know.
Things that you have to go over to.
If the town decided to do that, they'd have to talk to the school, because we've got all the buses up there. I understand why you want them.
Yeah,
But the school would
so-
have to be agreeable.
Yeah, so kids don't go roaring through there and do donuts down there.
Mhm. No, I understand. Manson Park put those in, and they were so high when they got put in, they had to cut them in half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that, and it's torn a couple people's,
Slow them down,
front
didn't it?
ends off too.
Slow them down.
Yeah.
It did slow
Yeah, the
down
creek
there,
road.
left part of the vehicle there.
Yeah, and no more donuts and,
No,
Parking lot
there
anymore.
is no more trouble down there, that is true.
that's what good thing.
All right, so we're all set for Somerset Avenue. I'm gonna take out, look for more durable crosswalk paint, because we're not gonna find it. Industrial Park Street, replace the currently painted white crosswalk across Industrial Park Street with a bold crosswalk as shown on page 14 of the AARP walk audit toolkit. If it will fit, okay. Donnie, do you think that will fit there?
I would think, I mean, even if it's, because we're gonna be coming in a little bit on the inside now of. Where we're gonna put that guardrail, so I think that you're gonna have a little bit of space, so we can bring it over into that. That area with that vegetated areas
Yeah.
now,
So we're
so,
gonna do it. They'll be pretty visible.
yeah,
And obviously, I've never seen these in the state of Maine, but, and it doesn't say where the San Pablo Avenue. Sounds like it's out west, but, it's
California.
California, yeah. But it looks very nice and very visible. So now we've got add Jersey barriers, the distance of A.E. Robinson's lot to meet up with the beginning of the sidewalk across Industrial Park Street. Add a railing along the Jersey barrier for protection of public walking along Industrial Park Street. Do you wanna change anything there? Do you wanna call it guardrail? I put railing.
Guardrail, probably.
Okay.
I think guardrail would be the best,
Okay,
because they'll drive those right down into the ground, so.
all right, so we'll change that. Add pedestrian walking signs at the IP Industrial Park Street Loop is used for physical exercise. Add a bicycle lane the length of Industrial Park Street on the side opposite the mobile home park. And add a bicycle lane from the mobile home park with the sidewalk ends to the remainder of the road. Now, I'm not sure we can do that, but we're supposed to have them on both sides. If we have
Yeah,
one,
that's what I was gonna say, you really need bicycle lanes on both sides, because if you try it, you can't do it on one, because you're going.
Right, you'll be head on to each other.
Yeah.
There
yeah,
wouldn't be
the state wants them on both sides.
Yeah,
We're gonna-
And that was just like a vehicle, they consider
Yeah.
a man-powered vehicle, so you gotta have two different lanes on each side, all opposite.
So I'm not sure how that meets up with the sidewalk. But we'll see what the state says. I think that's a no-no, but you do have to have them on both sides.
Yeah.
We can try it. And request a speed limit change again. We requested previously, but state law doesn't allow it. We need a creative solution as vehicles traveling 45 miles per hour along the route is dangerous. And then you talked about adding street lights, as this is a popular walking and running route. And it is dark at night anyway, very, very dark down there when you take that route. And people are out without clothing at night walking, you have to be very
Well,
well.
and it gets dark at 4:30 in the winter, so.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
late.
That's the thing about that, you have to slow down when you get to the railroad tracks,
Mhm.
or you'll be going airborne if you're
Right.
going
It
45
doesn't-
miles an hour.
They're down pretty good. You
So I
can
mean,
get
it's
pretty
just
fast.
that long stretch, it doesn't make sense to have it be 45 miles an hour.
No, it
I
doesn't.
mean, for that short,
All right, I'm gonna be honest, I like having 45 miles, it's a bypass from the rest of the town. And yes, you gotta be aware and careful and all that good stuff, but yes, I definitely.
Mhm.
Anyways,
17
Concussion.
17 vehicle actions on that shot corner last one.
yeah.
The vehicles went off the road because they're going too fast.
Which one, as you're going across the
Oh,
railroad
railroad
tracks to the left?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went a long time ago. It was slippery, so I knew you could do it, and my kid was learning how to drive, this was years ago, and I knew, I mean, he wasn't really going fast, but it just pulled you right in. And I knew he'd be okay, and he got pulled in, I said, yep, it's that turn, so I know what you mean. You get pulled down for the turn,
17 vehicles went off there last winter,
yeah,
that one spot.
Yeah.
Because they're going too fast for the conditions.
I know this
Well, and
one.
again, I was just reporting that 8 pedestrians have been killed in Maine this summer, this
Oh,
year.
okay.
So,
It's up a
you know,
lot.
yeah, it's not the best, environment for walking on the roads.
Look at that one,
Bike and
look at
car.
that over there
You'll
that happened over to Walmart, that was
You'll
a friend of a friend.
Oh,
She was walking
Oh,
across
I
from
read
the
about
entrance to
that.
Walmart to get across the road over there by
Yeah,
the fireworks
it's a
place,
horrible
and
spot.
she got killed.
Yeah, that's-
same spot where the motorcyclist ended up dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's
that's
been a
why.
lot of accidents.
they've gone so
If the
fast.
streetlights are not practical, you talked about having solar security lighting that would come on when movement is detected.
Yeah, motion sensor lighting.
And we're almost done here. The next one was street safety and appeal. There's a few yeses, some nos,
Yeah, I have a lot of those on this.
and that's for both of them. So if you want any changes, let me know. And for notes, Somerset Avenue has a long area along the plaza that is safe. It's a sidewalk that's located away from the traffic behind a grass area, which is a great sidewalk. The remainder of the area walks is not safe for pedestrian traffic. And I put Industrial Park Street is not safe for all feeling. I'd like to say differently, but it is industrial. Public transit, we didn't need that page. Build a better block. And so I went down and filled in the areas that we should have. Safety barriers between the sidewalk and street would be good. Raised crosswalks, we talked about that. Pedestrian friendly lighting. Improved landscape maintenance, that's in one section. Trash receptacles would be good, and I have to chain them down, but
Yeah.
we've
but
done well with
Then you
that.
guys have to empty them all the time. I mean,
It's true, but if they did make a little park area there.
oh, by.
We would have to put them in there, yeah, that would be the only area I would think of.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else to put in, we don't want any public art along the road. Shelters, that you wouldn't have that. Green space, we have 7 parks, so if somebody's gonna make a park, it'd be somebody else. And I put in industrial park street has vegetation that's grown in quickly from the last 1.5 years, many rainstorms. Needs to be cut back for pedestrian safety, you all mentioned that. And then the long-term solution for the congested intersection is to have another exit created in the middle of the streetscape along the plaza. And reassign the entrance exit by the intersection as an entrance only. That would make a big difference. But that will require private
Yeah.
investment.
Big bucks.
There might be a grant we could get to help them, but we would need a cooperative business owner. Winter weather, that one wasn't needed, and I didn't put in the summary because we're not done yet. So that's what we have so far. Any changes? I'm gonna take out the line about getting better paint because we're just not gonna.
What would it take to get, security cameras and call boxes a lot more places?
That might be hard to do as part of this. Well, where were you thinking of?
Down closer to, like, Somerset Plaza down there. Like entrance and exit, just in case somebody breaks down at the end of the parking lot, they can use it to call somebody for to use it, get a tow truck with something.
Yeah, I think these days people figure everybody has a cell phone, because even the old call boxes that used to be every place or there's. no
It's
calling.
not, A.E. Robinson is open 24 hours a
It is.
day, and I'm
Ah,
sure they would
right,
call.
Oh,
Dunkin'
okay,
Donuts.
Yeah,
is-
so that
No,
I think it will be okay, if some people do break down down there.
They used to.
Catherine, there was one thing on the public art. I mean, I know right now it's not a possibility because of, well, I don't know, but they did it at MCI up at Weymouth.
If we did the art, we'd have to do it ourselves, like a contest or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and have property owned by the
involved.
town to
Yeah.
put it on. Yeah.
Well, because I know in Belfast and a lot of different places like that, I mean, whether it's a bench or you go to Waterville and you
very
see it's a
nice.
bench.
Mhm.
And it could be, again, it's just that welcoming concept.
No, it's very.
Another thing maybe too, just, obviously, you're not gonna have a dog off leash or it'd be a dead dog up in that plaza, but maybe a receptacle for picking up dog mess
Mhm.
wouldn't be a bad idea.
True. Seen a lot of it on the
If you walk
road,
down the
in
street.
sidewalks.
I'll make a note of both of these, the public art and
That
um,
would be Paul.
Public art, we get plenty of that. First, we don't need any more public art.
Public weirdos?
Get rid of the
Is it
cover.
public weirdos? Huh?
Yeah, like to,
Police dogs. and
I,
do,
yeah.
I got a call last
Seen a
night,
lot of
I got back in the town, I got a call last
I
night.
shouldn't
A
go.
passerby
True.
that works at Puritan said, you need to go down West from the theater.
Town
I
office.
said, why? They said, oh, somebody left some artwork down there. I'm thinking, oh my
They just
God.
say.
It's not, it wasn't paid.
I
They
don't
did a
know.
really good job because the
Let's
dust
go
and everything from the road is all over the windows and they made some beautiful art.
Oh.
They were Hugh Hefner
Okay.
and
Oh,
Larry
it's-
Flint and some of
it
those
was
guys.
on
I'm
the
like,
dust.
are you kidding me? I said, how the
It's in the
hell did you
dust.
even see that at nighttime? But they said, look, I was like, come around by Honeywell, I shined across and I went, oh my lord.
well, that's.
So
It was very
It was
artistic.
just in the dust.
Well,
Yeah, it was in the dust on the window. It was very artistic.
They
It
were
looks
doing
like,
something today on that building and sandblasting or something, so maybe that.
I noticed it next
I
door.
looked and I went, oh my God, are
They
you
had that
serious?
concept, they were doing something.
Yeah, Klein Smith was having some work.
Yeah,
done
doing
to
some
the
face
building.
work on
Yeah,
that
that's
building
nice.
too.
Yeah, they take good care of their buildings and everything.
What's gonna happen with that building that's at the old Rennie's and the other one next to the theater, is that gonna be?
The Main Street Committee is working on that, and Donnie and I aren't part of that.
You don't have enough to do, gee, come on. guys.
I
Okay,
am looking for money for them, I haven't found any.
are we still on with these guys? We still on?
We're still on.
Okay. I was gonna get something else that really doesn't have to do with this. So I should tell you.
There you go.
All right, so, I appreciate all of you going on that walk. That was excellent. And I think we'll have good results. And then we have the other walk at 3 o'clock Monday afternoon. I'll still have treats and water bottles, and we'll take down after the meeting, make sure we get all the orders for the shirts. Anyone that goes on the walk gets a shirt ordered by the town, as part of your contribution to you as a thank you. All right, anybody have anything else, or are we done? All right, excellent, thank you so much, that clock is not correct,
Yeah, I already know.
It's
7:11. All right, very good, thank you so much.
Battery died in it.
I think I've heard DSP on.